Okay guys, let's get started here, and what we're going to be doing today is solving linear systems by graphing. So what a system means is that you have two equations, or you might have more. You could have 3 or 4 or 5, so you could have more than 2. So remember just an equation. So y equals 2x minus 1 and y equals 4x plus 3. So remember, when we have systems of equations, we have 3 answers. So our first answer could be a point. So remember, that's going to be written in xy. So let me show you an example. So if I have a graph here, and then I have this graphed like this. I have 2 graphs. Where they're intersecting is your answer. So that's your XY. Now, you guys will actually have an answer in there, right? It's not going to be XY. You're going to actually have a point there. So that'll look a little different. Infinite solutions. Infinite solutions. Infinite means that you have multiple. So that means they have the exact same equations. So exact same equations. So what does that look like? Okay, well, y equals 3x plus 1. Y equals 3x plus 1. So they're exactly the same. So when you would graph those, so if I was graphing them, so here's a little graph, and then let's put them on there. We graph that. Go up 3, 1, 2, or go up 1, and then go up 3 over 1. So then here is my graph. That means when I graph this second one, it's the exact same thing. That's what that means. So infinite, you have only one equation that you're graphing, but you're graphing it twice. All right, so then the last solution we have is no solution. So that means they have nothing in common. They have no points in common, nothing in common. And I know some of you are already thinking, how could that be? Okay, so let's think about that. How could that be? You're right. So that would be a parallel line. So if I have 2 parallel lines, they never cross, so they never have anything in common. So if I have parallel lines, what does that mean? That means that they have the exact same slope. Now, yeah, their y-intercepts are different. So example, y equals 1/2 x minus 1, y equals 1/2 x plus 3. That means the slope is the same, but they're crossing the y-axis in a different place. This is the y-axis. They're crossing the y-axis in a different place. All right, so let's graph these. So the first thing I want you to realize is when we're talking about graphing a line, you got your slope, right? So my slope on the first one is 1/2. My b, or my y-intercept, is what I would rather you think of it as, so you remember that it's crossing the y-axis, is -3. So I'm going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. So then here's my line. Sorry, it's not going to be very straight. I'm bad at that. So then let's do the other one. Well, my slope on this one is 3/2. My y-intercept is -1. So remember, y-intercept, that's where it's crossing the y-axis. So I go down to -1. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2. It's kind of hard to see where that crosses. So what I would like for you to do is keep showing me those dots. So then I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2. Look there, it crosses right at that point. So usually when you do that, you can see exactly where it crosses. So then my answer to this is -2, -4, because I go 1, 2 to the left, that's my x value. Go down 1, 2, 3, 4, that's my y value. That is my answer. Okay? So let's keep going here. All right, so now we're going to graph 2 more lines. So I want you to look at those and kind of tell me what you can see that is the same. All right, there's slopes. Yeah, exactly. The slopes are the same. So what do we know when slopes are the same? Exactly, that they're going to have no solution. So I already know this answer is going to be no solution without graphing anything. But you still have to prove it to me. So that means you're going to graph that anyway. So I'm going to go on the first one. My slope is 2/3. My y-intercept is 1. So I'm going to go up to 1. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. Oops, sorry. Up 1, 2 over 1, 2, 3. Up 1, 2 over 1, 2, 3. I'm going to draw that line. All right, so now I'm going to graph my second one, and my second one, the slope is 2/3. So some of you, right off the bat, you look at this and you see that those slopes are the same and you know that they're parallel, which means it's no solution. Some of you might have to get to this point first and say you're actually writing it down and you realize, oh, hey, those are the same. Some of you might not even then. So then you're just graphing it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 2 over 1, 2, 3. Up 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So now I have this line. Sorry, that didn't go through my points. It should. Okay, so then there's your answer. Okay, so then we have a couple more here let's look at. So the next one, what I want you to look at is the equation. Right off the bat, I want you to look at the equation and decide, what would I know about that? Well, I look at it and I see, oh, the slopes are the same. So maybe I'm thinking, okay, it's parallel, it's no solution. So I might go ahead and write no solution here and I start graphing them. But what I need you to realize is that you have the exact same y-intercept, which means I have the exact same line. So if I'm graphing that, I would go down to 1 and then go up 1, 2 over 1, up 1, 2 over 1. And then here is my line. And now I'm going to go ahead and graph the second one. Okay, so I didn't write this down, sorry. Slope is 2, y-intercept is -1. Slope is 2, y-intercept is -1. So I'm going to do the same thing. Go to -1, go up 1, 2 to the right 1. Okay, so then what do we find? It's the exact same line. So infinite solutions. So I know some of you are like, yeah, well, I can tell that by just looking at the equations. I know you can because you guys are brilliant, but what I need you to do is prove it to me. So I need you to graph that line. So last one. Oh, sorry, 2 more. Let's see about this first one. Oh, shucks, it's not written in y-intercept form, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to solve for y here. So down here I've left you plenty of space to solve for y. So I'm going to subtract 2x, subtract 2x. Those cancel. I get -3y equals -2x plus 3. I'm going to divide by a -3. So I get y equals 2/3 x minus 1. Okay, so I'm not going to graph that one yet. Well, I guess I can go ahead and graph it. I'll go ahead and graph it. So I go down to -1, then up 1, 2 to the right, 1, 2, 3, up 1, 2 to the right, 1, 2, 3. So I graph this line. Hey, that one's pretty straight. Good job, Mrs. Hanson. All right, so now let's graph the next one. First, we're going to have to solve. So I have y plus 2 equals x. I need y by itself, so that just means I'm subtracting 2. So I get y equals x minus 2. So I go down to negative 2. I go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Look right there, that's where it's crossing. So then on this one, my answer is 2, 0, where it crosses. So what I want you to do is make sure that you're showing me that there's a point there where it crosses, so I know that you understand that. Oh, you guys are just too brilliant for me. Can't handle this. All right, so let's go on. I have to solve for y again. So I get x minus y equals 2. I'm going to subtract x from both sides. Those cancel, so I get negative y equals negative x plus 2. Now I'm going to divide by negative 1, right, because I have that negative out front. So then that really cancels. So then I get y equals a negative, and negative is a positive. So really now I have 1x minus 2. Okay, so let's graph that. Go down to 2, 1, 2, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Okay, so I'm going to graph that. I think I'm getting better at straight lines. You guys should be impressed. Okay, so let's do the next one. I get 2y minus 3x equals negative 1. So I'm going to subtract 2. Whoa, no, we're not going to subtract that. We're going to add 3x. I want y by itself. I'm going to add 3x. So this cancels. I get 2y equals 3x minus 1. I'm going to divide by 2 on everything. That cancels. I get y equals 3/2 x minus 1/2. Now I can hear you already. How in the world are we graphing negative 1/2? Okay, so that's a bad problem a little bit. But what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and graph that. So we're going to go down to negative 1/2. And then we're going to go up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2. So you see how I did that? Up 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Do the same thing. Go down 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2. We're going to pretend it hits right there. Doesn't really quite, but we're going to pretend that so we can get a point. Sorry about that bad problem. I should change that. So now what I have is a point right here, which is at negative 1, 2, down 1, 2, 3, 4. So my answer is negative 2, negative 4. All right, so I know you guys are going to do awesome on your homework. Watch this, go back and play it, make sure you understand it. And that's it for today.